Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ali Jabbour, Associate Publisher at Long Island Business News.
And I'm Joe Dowd, Editor and Associate Publisher at Long Island Business News.
Joe and I are thrilled to welcome you to the 2021 Executive Circle Awards online program. Right now, viewers from across Long Island and beyond are tuning in to celebrate 33 outstanding executives. Each of them have displayed incredible leadership skills, integrity, values, vision, and commitment to excellence in the last year.
That's right, Ali. And while we certainly look forward to the return of celebrating in person, we at LIBN are proud to be able to highlight each of these honorees in a safe, socially distanced format.
And we have a jam-packed program today, Joe. We'll be hearing from each of today's honorees, whose stories will inspire you. We'll also be hearing from two key leaders in the Long Island business community and perhaps a couple of other well-known executives who will be stopping by to congratulate this year's Executive Circle class. And of course, none of today's festivities would be possible without the generous support of today's program sponsors. A special thanks to our major sponsor, New York Institute of Technology. Let's hear a short message from our major sponsor.
When I first became interested in medicine, I had a moment where I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I need to do with my life, because if I can do this thing, I don't care about anything else. I know that my life will follow suit. My name is Benjamin Kramer. I grew up in Northport, New York, which is on Long Island. I knew going into college that I wanted to go into medicine. And when I got an offer from NYITCOM, I decided this is where I'm going to go and came back to Long Island to continue my education.
Thanks again to our major sponsor, New York Institute of Technology. And also a special thanks to our award sponsor, People's United Bank. Contributing sponsor, Teachers Federal Credit Union. And today's nonprofit sponsors, Community Mainstreaming, Life's Work, the Crimes Victims Center, Palamine, Charles Evans Center, Gerwin Healthcare System, the Girl Scouts of Nassau County, and a very special thank you to LGC Studios. Thanks again to our sponsors for your support. And while we all may be tuning in from different locations right now, this program is absolutely interactive. Please don't forget to share your thoughts and congratulate our honorees by using the chat box at the right-hand side of your screen. We want to hear from you. And don't forget to check out the Executive Circle Awards 2021 special section, publishing tomorrow in print and online, to learn more about each honoree. Now, I don't know about you, Joe, but I think it's time to get this program started. Would you like to do the honors of introducing our first keynote speaker?
I sure would, Ali. Today's first keynote has been one of the most influential executives of the last year, serving as President and Chief Executive Officer of the largest healthcare provider in New York State. Hailing from Limerick, Ireland, this executive oversees more than 75,000 employees and an annual revenue of $14 billion. He recently published his experience serving as a healthcare leader during COVID-19, and he also penned an autobiography about his rise from impoverished immigrant to industry icon. Please welcome Northwell Health President and CEO, Michael J. Dowling.
Hello, everybody, and let me begin by saying a special congratulations to the Long Island Business News for all that you do on an ongoing basis and for holding this event. And also, of course, I want to say a special congratulations and thanks to all of the honorees. This is a unique time in our history because of what we have gone through over the past 12 months. And of course, as you know, it is not over. We still have a COVID issue. But the worst of it, hopefully, is behind us. It has also changed our organizations. We are now looking at our organizations differently, and we will have to continue looking at them differently as we move forward. There will be lots of change because we have to adapt to a new world. You know, the best definition of leadership that I have ever come across is that leadership is about managing the present It's about selectively forgetting the past, and it's about creating the future. So now the question for each and every one of you is, what is that future going to look like? How do you envision the future? What is your role in creating that future? And when I think of roles for leadership, I think there are two dimensions to it. One is, inside your organization, you have a role. How do you adapt your organization internally? How do you refocus your mission? How do you motivate your employees? How do you inspire your employees? How do you deal with performance management? How do you deal with the new world of digital health, if you're in the healthcare field? Or how you adapt to the new world of technology overall, because that is going and is changing our lives. That's the internal part of what leadership is all about, but you also have another role. You have an external role, because each of you have influence, more influence than you think. You can shape the community at large. As an organization, and as a CEO of an organization, you have broad-based community influence. So the question is what are you doing, separate from your internal work, although they are very much related, what are you doing on the outside community at large? So let me just make a comment about some of the attributes of leadership. Leadership to me is about building trust, being positive, being upbeat, figuring out how to raise the bar, how to do more tomorrow than you did yesterday. Unfortunately, we live in a world today, especially in our political world, where everything is about division. Compromise is bad in the eyes of some. You don't negotiate, you don't collaborate. If you're from this part of the political spectrum, you don't talk to others on the other side of the political spectrum. That is not good. We and you have an obligation to try to make a difference with regard to that perspective. So you unify, you bring people together. You give oxygen to hope, not disunity or hatred. You give oxygen to hope. That's part of your leadership responsibility. And of course, leadership is about being resilient, about being adaptable. You know, life, in many ways, is an experiment in adaptability, constantly changing, constantly evolving, constantly learning, being open to new ideas all the time. And that is a wonderful quote by George Eliot that I think is very apt in today's world, and is something that I often think about on an ongoing daily basis. And he says the following: only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. So again, let me congratulate all of you. Thank you for what it is you have done, what you currently are doing, and the best wishes on what I know you will do going forward. And I would just conclude by saying, don't just manage, lead. There's a difference.
Thank you, Michael Dowling, for a truly inspiring kickoff to today's program.
And be sure to stick around for our second keynote speech delivered by another well-known Long Island leader who just last month announced his latest business move. Now, Joe, I think it's time we meet some of today's Executive Circle honorees.
I think you're right, Allie. The executives you're about to meet are truly exceptional. Honorees were selected from a tremendous pool of applicants, which were collected over the course of a year. The Executive Circle class of 2021 includes CEOs, CFOs, founders, owners, nonprofit leaders, and more. Let's meet our first honorees of the day.
As Executive Director of the New York State Certified Rape Crisis Center, Laura Ahern defends the rights of thousands of victims of sexual abuse, rape, and domestic hate and violent crime. The The organization today staffs over 30 employees, who together spearhead the many programs Ahern has developed over the last 2 decades. The legal professional has helped draft local, state, and federal legislation to strengthen laws protecting the most vulnerable and help give them a voice. Ahern's efforts to create safer spaces has been highlighted by the Department of Justice, Congress, and the New York State Senate.
I started my career working at IBM, where I learned really valuable administrative, management, and operational skills. And then while completing my master's degree in social work at Stony Brook School of Social Welfare, I interned at an organization that provided services to child victims of sexual abuse, victims of domestic violence, and victims of sexual assault, and discovered that there were very limited resources in the community for victims and their families. And I sort of fell into this field. I founded the Crime Victim Center about 25 years ago, literally from a room in my home with a computer and an old dot matrix printer, and built that up to become a multi-million-dollar not-for-profit.
Congratulations, Laura Ahern.
Chief Financial Officer at Aurora Contractors Nicholas Aldericio first encountered the Ronkonkoma-based firm as a public accountant, with the firm as his client. In 2001, he saw opportunity for growth as Aurora became a general contractor and left the accounting world to join the Aurora team. 2 decades later, Aldericio has been credited with helping grow the construction firm to become one of the largest on Long Island. He is at the forefront of risk management concepts and serves as an ad hoc attorney for the firm. During COVID-19, he assisted in protecting Aurora's financial positioning and was hyper-focused on boosting morale company-wide. He is also passionate about the nonprofit community and often finds opportunities for the firm to collaborate with nonprofits like Contractors for Kids.
The construction industry has a lot of risk associated with it, so you need to manage that risk properly. There's financial risk, there's contract risk. So I enjoy dealing with all those issues and working out solutions for the company. In the past, there were financial related crises that we needed to deal with. However, this wasn't just financial. There was a lot of stress for employee morale, and we worked very hard to try to keep that morale up during this very unique time in history.
Congratulations, Nicholas Aldericio.
Since 2015, Stuart Almer has served as president and CEO of the Gerwin Healthcare System, following a lengthy career in leadership positions at Parker Jewish Institute for Healthcare and Rehabilitation. With over 30 years of experience in the healthcare industry, Almer has also held senior management positions at several hospitals and medical centers in the region. Almer also serves as adjunct professor in the Masters in Health Administration program at Hofstra University and is a sought-after speaker on leadership quality and state of the healthcare system for regional organizations. Throughout the pandemic, Almer has been an outspoken source in media to shed light on local nursing home industry information related to COVID-19.
I have always had a passion to serving others. I began my career in the hospital industry and saw a change in the population in the future, and an aging population, and therefore I felt long-term care would be a good opportunity for me with my interests. I believe that transparency is probably the most important characteristic in dealing with any situation, and not only the pandemic, in our regular work. Being out front, being forward, being direct, being accurate. All of these points are important in how we conduct ourselves. I'd say over the past year plus, we have conducted, myself personally, well over 100 media interviews in order to be accessible and outward and out front with the public. I think that's been important for families, but it's always important in putting your best foot forward.
Congratulations, Stuart Almer.
Christian Engel is an executive director at JP Morgan Chase Commercial Banking for the Long Island and Queens regions. With more than 14 years of experience helping Long Island businesses meet their diverse business goals through banking, Engel is an expert at providing tailored financial solutions for his clients. The COVID-19 pandemic has provided Engel and his team opportunities to examine ways they can adapt to better serve the Long Island business community, all while implementing digital solutions for JP Morgan Chase clientele.
I think the thing that really attracted me to banking was the ability to do both analytical and relationship-based work. I think when I started, I was really focused on the analytical, really started to enjoy meeting prospects and clients and developing those relationships, and realized I could do both. And as my career has developed, I've really been able to hone both skill sets, and it's really been a pleasure. And banking is certainly a place that you can do that.
Congratulations, Christian Engel.
As the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of New York Institute of Technology, Dr. Jerry Ballantyne seeks and evaluates new opportunities for university growth, expansion, and strategic resource allocation. He has authored and edited numerous web articles and textbook chapters, including content for New York Medical Journal and the WebMD Network. His areas of research focus on non-academic interventions with medical students to help them increase empathy and decrease burnout. Throughout COVID-19, he has maintained a safe, protocol-driven way of teaching medical skills in a hybrid model.
For many years, I was actually involved in hospital management. I'm a physician by training. And as I was seeing physicians come to us, I was really starting to get interested in their training, medical school itself. And that's why a few years ago, I decided to take that jump, that leap into higher education and really learn what medical school education is like at the undergraduate level.
Congratulations, Dr. Jerry Ballantyne.
I am an avid angler. I love to fluke fish on party boats here in Suffolk County. My largest catch is a 300-pound, 8-foot blue marlin that I caught and released in Mexico.
I love to go to listen to really hardcore music, and it's very out of character with the typical CPA. I love going to concerts and getting in the mosh pit and the whole 9 yards. So,
I am a big reader. I read lots of books. I try to read at least 1 or 2 books a week if possible. If I can't do that, usually 2 to 3 weeks. And I like to read across a lot of different topics.
So I have a farm in New York, in Woodstock, that my wife and I run together with goats, chickens, and livestock, and a big orchard, a big vegetable area, as well as a number of dogs.
I have always had an interest in art and design. It really comes from early on, my mother having been an artist, my father having an interest in art and drawing.
Congratulations, Laura Ahern, Nicholas Aldorizio, Stuart B. Ulmer, Christian Engel, and Dr. Jerry Ballantyne. Now, let's meet some of their fellow honorees.
Fred Burke, co-managing partner of Friedman LLP, serves on the accounting and advisory firm's executive committee, as well as the chair of the real estate group, maintaining numerous valuable client relationships. Throughout COVID-19, Burke has taken on the role of compassionate leader, reaching out to partners and staff to nurture and strengthen the Friedman community in spite of social isolation by hosting virtual town halls to offer insight into the firm's operational resilience and providing reassurance that the firm is growing stronger in the face of crisis. He has provided a stable, reliable leadership admired by the Friedman team.
I find public accounting interesting. It's always something different to do. You're dealing with a lot of different people, a lot of different staff, a lot of different clients. It's interesting. There's always something going on. For my own personal success, I think I've always dedicated myself to hard work, understanding what people want and need, and doing my best to do that, and it's worked.
Congratulations, Fred Burke.
As CEO of BEB Capital, a privately held, multifaceted real estate company, Lee Brodsky oversees the direction of business and spearheads strategic planning, including the execution and management of key partnerships. Under Brodsky's leadership, BEB launched their lending division in March of 2020, a significant component to the firm's growth. He also serves on the investment committee and leads all asset management-related functions. Since the firm's formation in 2013, Brodsky has led VEB to become an institutional-grade owner and operator of industrial assets along the East Coast.
When I came out of school, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do, and my family had historically been in a lot of different types of businesses, and so I was really looking for kind of my first opportunity. And my parents used to put the newspaper on my stairs and circle different job opportunities because I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. And then my sister had a friend and brother-in-law had a friend who was in commercial real estate and said, you know, he's personable, you're pretty personable, you should try it. And so that's when I went into the commercial brokerage industry. That was in 2005, and really enjoyed real estate, learned very little about it at the beginning, but as I progressed, really liked the potential there and thought that, that kind of takes me to today where I'm running our real estate business on an institutional level. I really wouldn't have gotten here without being in the brokerage industry first.
Congratulations, Lee Brodsky.
Michael Brown is the CEO of Fellow Health Partners, a Great River-based medical business solutions company. Brown oversees a rapidly growing local and national success story that is changing the way doctors, hospitals, and medical facilities are supported in their operations, strategy, billing, and growth. With a BA in accounting and an MBA from the Dolan School of Business at Fairfield University, Brown started the company in 2016 to address a then unmet need in the medical billing space. Since then, Fellow Health Partners has grown from a handful of employees to over 100, while the business has grown to over $1 billion in client charges.
I think to understand what attracted me to the industry, you have to understand a little bit about my background, and I'll go through that real quick. After postgraduate studies, I worked as a business consultant focusing on operational turnarounds and performance improvement. So I was always focused on working with large companies and figuring out, what the problem is, how can we make it better on behalf of, banks, hedge funds, and PE shops. I came out to Long Island because my father had a terminal illness. I came out, was packaging up his company for sale, and when I was there, someone brought the current company I'm with the industry to me, medical billing, called RCM as well, revenue cycle management. And it was very clear at that time, there was three things that attracted me to it. Number one, it was a growing industry. Healthcare was growing, and this was the servicing component of the healthcare industry. Number two, that the demand of the industry was changing and becoming unmet and unfulfilled. And the last thing was really an opportunity to fulfill local jobs and grow a local company.
Congratulations, Michael Brown.
CEO of Girl Scouts of Nassau County and lifetime Girl Scout Randell M. Bynum brings decades of experience of nonprofit management. She leads an organization serving nearly 14,000 girls and 5,000 adults. During the pandemic, she successfully led Girl Scouts of Nassau in pivoting to virtual programming, helping reimagine the Girl Scout experience. Bynum is also an experienced trainer, author, editorial developer, and instructional designer, and has worked for Scholastic Incorporated, Sesame Workshop, and even the Girl Scouts of USA. Bynum is an excellent role model for young girls in Nassau County and is working to develop the next generation of self-sufficient, capable women.
The 109-year-old history of the Girl Scout movement is really dedicated to supporting girls building their leadership skills. No other organization has that history, infrastructure, commitment, or know-how, and it really was in sync with my 30-year career of focusing on the well-being of girls, youth, families, and communities. I've committed to being the voice of the table and advocating and really making a difference in the quality of lives of girls. As a social worker, I wanted to be able to make the biggest impact possible, and Girl Scouts allows me to do that, especially with a great staff team and my amazing volunteers.
Congratulations, Randell Bynum.
Brad Calhoun, President and CEO of Teachers Federal Credit Union, has been quite busy since stepping into this leadership position in May 2019. He's led the company through a full rebranding, facilitated multiple strategic partnerships, and overseen the credit union's growth in assets from $7.3 billion to $8.5 billion. With over 25 years of leadership experience in banking and credit unions, Calhoun was able to quickly pivot during the pandemic to continue serving his credit union members safely and effectively. A California transplant, Calhoun is proud to call Long Island home and is passionate about serving the community through volunteer efforts like Junior Achievement.
I was attracted to my industry in banking very early on, even while I was in school at California Baptist University. I worked at Bank of America, and I helped customers to reach their financial goals and achieve dreams and really just have an impact on their lives. And it was meaningful work to me and something that I knew I was committed to from that point forward.
Congratulations, Brad Calhoun.
Interestingly enough, my family growing up were 3 boys and a girl. I was the youngest of 4. And our order is boy, boy, girl, boy. And it happens to be that, just by luck, that my family is the same. So I have 3 sons and a daughter, and it's the same order.
I have a very big pizza problem. I love pizza. Pizza does not love me, no matter how much love I give it.
Something that people don't know about me is something that I didn't even know about myself at first, which is that this is my dream job. And most importantly, I get to be my authentic self and be the compassionate leader that I've always wanted.
Yeah, one thing that comes to mind is me and my wife met on the first day of freshman orientation many years ago. And we've been partnering together ever since.
Hi, I'm Suffolk County Executive Steve Bellone, and I'd like to offer my congratulations to all of the 2021 Long Island Business News Executive Circle Award honorees. You're all being honored tonight for your unparalleled leadership, commitment, and values. I cannot thank you enough for everything you do each and every day to ensure the success, vibrancy, and health of our communities. I especially want to thank and recognize you all for your dedication and commitment to community service over the past year. Our local businesses, not-for-profits, and everyone in between stepped up in incredible ways to help us navigate the COVID-19 pandemic. While there's finally light at the end of the tunnel, your leadership will be integral to our recovery as well. And I can say, without a doubt, that Long Island is proud to have so many great businesses and leaders. Once again, thank you to the Long Island Business News, and congratulations to all of you, and keep up the great work.
Congratulations, Fred Burke, Lee Brodsky, Michael Brown, Randall Bynum, and Brad Calhoun. And a special thanks to Suffolk County Executive Steve Bellone for stopping by to congratulate this year's honorees. Let's keep the energy going and meet 6 more Executive Circle winners.
David Chauvin is the Executive Vice President of ZE Creative Communications. He brings nearly 2 decades of corporate, government, and political communications experience, including an extensive background in crisis management. In addition to running the firm's day-to-day operations and leading the firm's strategic business initiatives, Chauvin also serves on the board of the Waldorf School of Garden City and the advisory committee of the Child Care Council of Nassau County. Prior to joining ZE, Chauvin held numerous government roles, including press secretary for the Nassau County Executive's Office and the communications director for the town of North Hempstead.
ZE Creative Communications, the communications industry as a whole, has always allowed me the opportunity to kind of follow the wind and go where the current takes you. So whether it's a crisis client or whether it's whether it's a nonprofit with a cause, we get this opportunity to sit at different tables and to talk to different people in a way that I would challenge any other industry to have. And for that, it makes every day so rewarding and so incredible and frankly so unpredictable.
Congratulations, David Chauvin.
Tori Cohen is the Executive Director of the Long Island Alzheimer's and Dementia Center. Cohen began her career with the center in 2003 as a social worker. Since being elevated to a leadership position in 2015, Cohen has led the nonprofit through an incredible evolution to better serve the community. She has spearheaded the LIBN Center's efforts to create a program for mental health professionals, for which they can earn continuing education credits. She has also leveraged her relationships with local hospitals to help LIBN Center initiate caregiver education programs, found at Northwell Health Orszag Center for Rehabilitation and Huntington Hospital.
I've always had a love for the geriatric population and specifically Alzheimer's dementia, and I wanted a place for people to find support to be able to navigate through this very difficult journey. As soon as our doors closed in March, I felt that it was my responsibility to help put together a roundtable of providers in Nassau and Suffolk and be able to talk about, give advice, and share opinions on what to do going forward in the crisis and afterwards with protocols and guidance.
Congratulations, Tori Cohen.
Nancy Kostopoulos is the president and CEO of Old Westbury Gardens, a historic Long Island estate with 200 acres of formal gardens, landscaped grounds, woodlands, ponds, and lakes. Kostopoulos has over 30 years of experience in the nonprofit sector, including working at the Chicago Botanic Garden and the Los Angeles Zoo. At Old Westbury Gardens, she is at the forefront of managing an estate that welcomes 80,000 visitors each year. Throughout COVID-19, Kostopoulos has been noted for her ability to lead with empathy, collaboration, and flexibility.
Early in my career, I had the opportunity to work at the Los Angeles Zoo. And that was a wonderful, very fun job. And what I did, I realized that I really loved the idea of a 7-day-a-week operation, a very complex operation in order to manage. And being open to the public, to where people from all over could come for their enjoyment. And from there, I really fell in love with cultural institutions, and then went to the Chicago Botanic Garden, and now I'm really excited to be here in New York at Old Westbury Gardens.
Congratulations, Nancy Kostopoulos. As the director of the Innovation Center at Adelphi University, Graciela Fusaro has played a key role in fostering and training future professionals under the enormous challenges of a global pandemic. Fusaro began her role at Adelphi in January 2020, and through launching the Innovation Center, has helped create new programs and adapt existing ones to help students gain digital and collaboration skills that are essential to prosper in our new business environment. In the year since the launch, approximately 460 students, 18 faculty, and 45 companies have participated in the center's programs.
I entered in academia when I was retiring from my prior career in investment banking and consulting. And I found out this good spot that was the connection between academia and corporate in experiential learning. So I decided to dedicate my career to that. And that was the beginning of my academic path.
Congratulations, Graciela Fusaro.
Dr. James R. Dolan Jr. is the Executive Director of the Charles Evans Center, where he oversees the delivery of integrated medical, dental, and behavioral health services to individuals who lack access to high-quality health care. CEC has played a prominent role in administering COVID-19 vaccines to people with special needs, as well as healthcare providers and community members who meet the high-priority criteria. As an early advocate for the delivery of integrated and co-located healthcare, Dr. Dolan has not only advanced this best practice at CEC, but has been instrumental in its implementation on a county-wide basis.
As a young adult, my interest was in helping to alleviate the effects of poverty. With that, I considered joining the Peace Corps, but instead became a VISTA employee. VISTA is the United States-based version of the Peace Corps. In that role, I was assigned to a deinstitutionalization program that helped people with developmental disabilities to transition from institutional life to living in the community. As I look back on my career, I can see that each role I had prepared me for the next step in my professional life. For example, the VISTA experience qualified me to work in a similar program on behalf of those with serious mental illness. And in my most recent prior role as acting commissioner of the Nassau County Department of Human Services, I was a major proponent for the delivery of integrated healthcare. Therefore, it was a natural for me to come to the Charles Evans Center where we provide a range of integrated health services at one location.
Congratulations, James Dolan.
With more than 2 decades of experience in public and private accounting, Ronald J. Eager advises clients in the construction, real estate, manufacturing, distribution, transportation, and nonprofit industries. He is a partner and chief operating officer at Grassi Advisors and Accountants and a member of the firm's executive committee. At Grassi, Eager oversees and makes strategic decisions about many of the firm's core functions, including its internal finance department. He is also credited with having developed an innovative software program that is instrumental in the firm's construction consulting practice.
What attracted me to this industry is it's something I found of interest right out of high school. I stuck with it all the way through college, and I've been in public accounting ever since, and I've chosen to stick with it all these years.
Congratulations, Ronald Eager.
One of the more interesting things about me is that since the 7th grade, I have been studying the drums, jazz, rock. I have a 5-piece set in my basement that my 2 young sons tend to bang on almost every day. And so I am not particularly good by any stretch of the imagination and would not suggest anybody try to recruit me for their garage band.
Before I moved to New York, when I lived in Chicago, I decided to go to culinary school. And I actually graduated from culinary school while I was working full-time.
I am a runner deep in my heart. So running for me is a truly important part of my life. If I don't do that every day, I am maybe a very annoying person throughout the day.
I no longer compete in triathlons. So my new athletic goal is to try to improve my golf game.
I can do anything from carpentry to electric to plumbing. Anything you put in front of me, I can fix it.
I love sports. I love reading stats about many of the basketball, football, hockey players, and it's something I enjoy when I'm relaxing.
Congratulations, David Chauvin, Tori Cohen, Nancy Kostopoulos, Graziella Fusaro, Dr. James R. Dolan Jr., and Ronald Eager. For over a decade, this influential executive served as CEO of Long Island's top advocacy group, leading an organization composed of the region's key business leaders. His expertise has helped secure more than $4 billion in infrastructure investments for Long Island. And his experience ranges from co-chair of the Long Island Regional Economic Development Council to LIBN trustee. He recently announced his latest move to real estate development firm TriTech as partner and executive vice president. Please welcome our friend, Kevin Law.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Congratulations to the Long Island Business News and to all the CEOs and the leaders being recognized here tonight. It's a really tough time to be a leader today. Leadership is more important than ever right now. And whether you're in the private sector, the public sector, or the not-for-profit sector, it really is crazy times to be a leader. But folks are looking for leadership, and they're willing to be led because they know the challenges are tough, and it's going to be not just leadership, but by everybody pulling together is how we're going to get out of the current crisis that we're in. I've been very fortunate. I've had the opportunity to lead county government. I've had the opportunity to lead a major law firm here on Long Island. I've had the opportunity to lead a public utility. Then I had the privilege of leading the Long Island Association. And now I'm embarking on a new journey just this week, starting with a great Long Island organization, TriTech, real estate development company. And throughout all of those different positions that I've been fortunate to have, I've had to both learn some leadership while on the job, and then demonstrate leadership in all of those jobs. And it's never an easy thing to do, but I did find that there are certain things that will help you along the way. It's knowing when to make a decision. Timing is everything in many ways. Some of you know, last year, I had been thinking about leaving the LIA for a couple of years. I thought it was just time for a new challenge, and I had some opportunities last year, but I turned them down because I did not think it was good leadership to leave the LIA and the work we do for the business community at the beginning of a global pandemic. And I chose to stay with the LIA to help the business community out and to sort of hold their hand throughout this crisis during the shutdowns. What can we open? What are the rules? When can we reopen? All the different criteria that was out there. The business community certainly was impacted significantly. And it was an honor to be part of the Long Island control room and to help the business community out in dealing with the pandemic. And I've always felt, again, in all the different positions that I've had, that, demonstrations of good leadership, you do not have to be the smartest person in the world, in the room, but it's really important to surround yourself with smart people. You also don't need to be the most vocal person in the room. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth because we should all learn to listen twice as much as we speak. And it's important to listen because a lot of people have a lot of good ideas. And a good leader knows how to listen to those ideas and try to extrapolate from them in terms of moving an organization forward. And I also learned that a good leader just doesn't go out there and do his or her own thing. You don't need to be independent. In fact, I think it's better and shows more of a leadership quality when you learn how to collaborate, team build, and try to reach consensus with a lot of different points of views. Sometimes it's harder to do, but at the end result is going to be better when you learn how to collaborate. And so surround yourself with good people, learn how to listen more, and learn how to collaborate and get input from many different folks inside and outside of your organization. I believe will make you a good leader. And Long Island is a very special place. We have so many great people. We have so many great businesses, and we do have a lot of great leaders, and we have a lot of great leaders in the making. And, the strength of our region has always been its people. Yes, we have challenges. It's a very high cost place to live. It's a very high cost place to do business. We have lots of traffic, and, the property taxes are high. And it's very easy to complain about a lot of those things. But I believe in the future of Long Island because of the great people that we have here, because of the great businesses that we have here. And I think our island is ready for a whole new team of leaders, again, in the public sector, in the private sector, and in the not-for-profit sector. So I encourage leaders to give that next generation of potential leaders a chance, get them more engaged, get them more involved, because our future could be very bright here on Long Island. We need to, work together. We need to, continue to collaborate, and we need to learn to listen to each other and accept different points of views without making each other the enemy because you may disagree with him or her on a particular issue, whether it's politics or economics or the way to run a business. So be open-minded, listen, lead, and I really think this island's the best days for our region will lie ahead of us. We just need to be willing to perhaps do things differently than we've been doing them over the last 50 years. So again, I wish you all a terrific evening. Congratulations to all of you. And I look forward to seeing you all in person someday again soon. I hope that is sooner than we think. And I'm optimistic about that too. The weather is getting nicer. Our beaches are going to be opening. Our golf courses are going to be opening. Outdoor dining is going to start here again on Long Island. And I think it's going to be a great summer. And that'll be great for Long Island because, hey, Long Island is always about the warm weather and our summer activities. So be optimistic. There is a light at the end of the tunnel from this pandemic. And I am very optimistic and bullish on our region. And I hope you are too. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. We at LIBN congratulate and wish you the best of luck on your latest endeavor. Now, let's return to meeting more Executive Circle honorees.
For over 40 years, Eileen Egan has supported Long Island's underserved community of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. As the CEO and Executive Director of Community Mainstreaming Associates, she oversees 14 residential group homes, Medicaid service coordination, and day and community habilitation programs. During her tenure, the nonprofit has opened 5 new group residential homes on Long Island, supporting an additional 86 adults in need. Egan is a strong advocate for in-person centered support and is leading Community Mainstreaming Associates toward providing unique and individualized services.
The thing that attracted me most to this field is working with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. They are the most authentic people I have ever known. I also find that my colleagues in supporting people are incredibly kind and empathetic people, and some of them are incredibly intelligent and creative as well. So it's a fun place to work.
Congratulations, Eileen Egan.
Mark Fogel founded Acres Capital Corp. to provide construction financing to the most underserved middle-market commercial real estate space. His goal is to provide borrowers an end-to-end solution for all phases of their real estate projects, from pre-development to bridge to permanent financing. Since its inception in 2012, Fogel has grown Acres from a small business with 5 employees to a 50-person team with a portfolio across 30 states. In 2020, the firm had a groundbreaking year and is on track to double that success in 2021. A lifelong Long Islander, Fogel is invested in the community, economy, and local organizations.
I enjoy the commercial real estate industry because it involves so many different specialties that I enjoy: finance, construction, architecture, property management, law, sales, and it involves tangible assets, something that you can touch and feel. It's a very complicated asset class, and something I heard back in the 1990s from Larry Silverstein always stuck with me, and that's he stated that I've been in this business for 30 years and I think I'm really starting to get it now.
Congratulations, Mark Fogel.
As the president and founder of Frisch Financial Group, David Frisch specializes in integrated financial and tax planning, stock option planning, executive compensation, and customized investment management and portfolio allocation strategies. Frisch Financial Group currently manages more than $600 million in assets, and Frisch attributes the company's success to its people and culture. The 30-year industry veteran has been recognized for his efforts with prestigious awards and honors that include Forbes' Best in State Wealth Advisors, Advisory HQ's Top 10 Financial Advisors, and the Women's Choice Award for Financial Advisors and Firms.
I was attracted to this industry, ironically enough, on Black Monday in October of 1987. And I had been my first part-time job. I had earned a couple of $100 and I wanted to invest in the stock market. And I felt that at the time the market was overvalued, but I wanted to invest and try something. And ultimately, my first investment was silver, which was negatively correlated to the equity markets. And I felt if the markets were highly priced, that I would be better protected. Very shortly thereafter, the markets were down 22%. The stories of people jumping out of buildings were real. And I was literally thinking, why did I make money where everybody else lost a bunch? And how could I help them ultimately in terms of not losing everything? And how can I protect them? And that was really where my interest started.
Congratulations, David Frisch. Lisa Gaddy is the founder and CEO of Palomine Equestrian, a therapeutic horseback riding program for individuals with disabilities and other vulnerable populations. Since 1995, the program's mission has been to provide a comprehensive program that uses the unique experience to facilitate growth, learning, and healing. Gaddy, a well-known advocate for the disabilities community, in 2019 was appointed to the Town of Islip Disability Advisory Committee to help the local government identify the most crucial issues facing the special needs community. Throughout the pandemic, Gaddy and the Palomine team have worked tirelessly to continue offering resources while prioritizing health and safety.
I think since I was a very little girl, I knew I always wanted to teach in some capacity, and I was an avid horseback rider, competitive rider. I just never thought of combining my two passions until I was a freshman in college, when a care package arrived, and it was the Danielle Steele novel, Palomino. And in that novel, the main character happened to be an avid rider, and she unfortunately took a very bad fall off her horse, leaving her quadriplegic in a chair. And she opened up this ranch for children and adults with disabilities. And I knew at 2:00 in the morning when I finished the novel what it was that I was going to do for the rest of my life. I wanted to combine both passions, riding and teaching, and open up a comprehensive equine center for those who needed horses the most.
Congratulations, Lisa Gaddy.
Matt Goker is a highly motivated and innovative technology and logistics expert who serves as the Chief Operating Officer for ATA Freight, Inc. Goker says his company is paving the way for the future of logistics and supply chain management, and he remains diligent in staying up to date with industry changes. One of Goker's primary focuses is integrating digitization into the world of logistics, which has given him the opportunity to launch a new software solution to help take the backlog out of logistics.
What really kept me attracted to it was to see how critical was what we were doing for the rest of the world and how interconnected we were. A brief memory. Once I attended a large supplier conference of a Fortune company that we've been handling, and it was lunch break, and I was, I think, having corn, and somebody standing next to me thanked me for making that available, and I didn't get that at that point. She then introduced herself. I understand that she was the farmer who was buying the equipment, the agricultural equipment that we were actually bringing in for our clients. And she said, if it wasn't for you, this corn would not have been here. She supplied that to the conference. That experience touched me, let me see how interconnected logistics was to everybody's lives.
Congratulations, Matt Goker.
I also signed up to be a basketball referee, and I got to travel to high schools all over Suffolk County, including Shelter Island and Sag Harbor, and I got to referee JV and varsity girls basketball.
One thing that many people don't know about me, except for the people that work with me, is that I like to mentor young people coming into the commercial real estate industry. I spend a lot of time lecturing at schools like Cornell and NYU.
Many people don't know that I was selected as the United States team captain for the Equestrian Paralympic Games held in Georgia and then again in Australia in 2000 and 2004.
I have a terrible fear of heights. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love hanging out with the family and everything, but I do everything I can to avoid the rides when I'm there with them.
Congratulations, Eileen Egan, Mark Fogel, David Frisch, Lisa Gaddy, and Matt Gawker. Now, let's meet some of their fellow honorees.
As president and CEO of Marketing Works PR, Ron Gold has over 30 years of industry experience. He launched the firm in 2002 with a focus to deliver quality customer service and effective marketing and public relations services, particularly in the nonprofit sector. Gold's past experience as general manager at WALK 97.5 and more than 1,000 media outlet connections allows him to promote his clients in leading New York publications, trade magazines, and local newscasts. While in-person events were shut down during the pandemic, Gold and his team successfully helped nonprofit clients transition to virtual events, netting their clients as much as $85,000 in fundraising.
I was the general manager of 2 radio stations, WALK and B103. And once you're in that area and you're doing work in radio, moving into public relations and marketing is an easy transition. We used to do a lot of oldies concerts when I was at B103. So transitioning to fundraising and doing it for nonprofit agencies was easy.
Congratulations, Ron Gold.
Teddy Haggerty founded Defender Safety in 2018 to build better quality products at affordable price points for the industrial and construction industry. As COVID-19 spread across China and Europe, Haggerty and his team had the foresight to shift their global supply chain to high-quality medical-grade PPE for hospitals before the virus reached U.S. soil. Haggerty's deep understanding of the safety needs of construction workers, coupled with his drive to continually improve upon his product line and an aptitude for business development, led to a 273% increase in sales in his first 2 years of business.
What attracted me to my industry is the fact that most people buy things off specification rather than branding. So in the industry, there's a lot of people who don't even associate a name to their product. They associate a SKU number. And I found this fascinating because it's very, let's say, boring and unsexy way of presenting a product. So I saw a niche in this industry to start creating a brand and therefore giving people more choice with their product. And also I feel like in the construction and healthcare settings, a lot of people, they have to wear PPE every day and it's a part of their job to wear PPE. So I want to give people not only a quality product, but something they can remember as a product name and be proud of their product, just as wearing a shirt or a pair of shoes. You want to wear something that represents you. So Defender Safety, I want that to be a brand that people know, and I want it to represent them as well. So when they go with a Defender product, they choose our product over the fact of maybe a competitor product who just uses a 4-digit code for their mask or their helmet or their gloves. So I want people to know us. So I saw a niche in this industry, and that's what attracted me to it because there was no one else doing really branded products in the industry. So I saw that as a need, I saw as a niche, and I saw as an opportunity.
Congratulations, Teddy Haggerty.
Appointed by President Barack Obama, Ambassador Susan Johnson Cook was the first African-American woman to hold the position of the U.S. Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom from 2011 to 2013. An ordained minister and orator, she became known for her Lunch Hour of Power and Wonderful Wall Street Wednesdays series. These business community resources were opened after 9/11, where Johnson Cook was on the front lines as the only female chaplain for the NYPD. Today, Johnson Cook serves as the president and CEO of Charisma Speakers, where she aims to empower others through her full-service communication and cross-cultural competency consulting and coaching firm.
COVID-19 crisis really affected me because I had to go from keynote speaking, which is the primary focus of my business, to virtual speaking. And in between, there was no income, so I had to be creative and innovative. So I've been through crises for all of my career and all of my life. And for me, it's about getting centered and making sure I and my family are settled. And then it's about looking at the people around me who I need to make sure that they're grounded and settled. And then you develop your strategy, a game plan. I call it the DSMOG principles, where you digitize, energize, strategize, monetize, organize, globalize, and glamorize. For me, success is knowing that my family is well, that I am well. And so for me, early on, it was about having faith, family, and fun, but most of all, having a work-life balance so that we worked hard, but we also learned to play hard. And so times of vacation were very important because rest is important for renewal, which is important for revenue.
Congratulations, Susan Johnson-Cook.
Kathleen Kennedy is the Vice President of Finance and Accounting for the Long Island Board of Realtors, a 28,000-member trade association serving real estate professionals. In this role, Kennedy uses her years of experience as a CPA and executive to streamline the not-for-profit operations and maximize efficiency. During the pandemic, Kennedy played an integral role in implementing new controls and business processes to help LIBR acclimate to a new work-from-home business model.
So what drew me to my industry was that I just love math. So I figured accounting was where I should be going. But I had a calculus professor who asked me why was I majoring in accounting instead of math. And I said to him, what am I going to do with math? Teach? I said, I really don't have the patience to teach. But now thinking back on that, that's kind of one of my most important roles as a C-suite executive is to really be teaching people. So it kind of really was an ironic statement when you think back to it.
Congratulations, Kathleen Kennedy.
Janet Koch is the Chief Executive Officer of Life's Work, a nonprofit organization supporting people with intellectual disabilities through residential and community services. A self-proclaimed numbers person, Koch spent decades in accounting and financial roles at nonprofit organizations before joining Life's Work in 2009. She led the organization to add 8 additional homes, expanded day programs and services, and grow the annual budget to over $55 million. Under her leadership, Life's Work went from serving just 8 people with trusts valued at $800,000 to meeting the needs of over 300 people with total trusts valued at an estimated $7 million.
My college education was in accounting, and so my first career opportunity was as an accountant in an organization that provided services for people with developmental disabilities. And as the youngest of 5 children, growing up in a large family, we all had our responsibilities and a very strong work ethic, but we were taught to have compassion for one another and to help those around us and to have, a kind and open heart. So when I was offered that opportunity many years ago, it really resonated with me. Again, a good, strong family that did a lot for our community. So it was something that just felt right. And I was very fortunate that I was with that organization for nearly 20 years. And now with my current organization for over 10, my entire career has been in this field, supporting people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It's something that I have great gratification each and every day in performing my job. And I consider myself to be very lucky to have this opportunity.
Congratulations, Janet Koch.
Rob Menino is the Chief Operating Officer of the Kolka Group, a construction management, real estate development, and general contracting firm. As a dynamic, results-focused developer and experienced entrepreneur, Menino has fostered small-scale and mid-sized businesses to outstanding growth and managed mergers, partnerships, capital raises, startup strategies, and venture seed funding with reliable success. Since his arrival to the firm in 2016, he has helped reposition the Kolka brand and assisted the revamp of operating procedures to maximize profits and optimize the company's ability to make the most of emerging opportunities.
The way that you could help shape communities. When you come into a new community and you create a new development in that area, it could really impact that area in so many ways, not only from a living experience or creating a good environment, but also from a financial impact as well. And I think that having the ability to partner with so many great people and to help shape communities is really what attracts me the most to commercial real estate and real estate development in general.
Congratulations, Rob Menino.
Everyone knows that my wife breeds Labradoodles, but they didn't know what part I played in it last year because her business was so busy that I would get up early enough to feed all the dogs, take care of the puppies, and she had a great year. We had a lot of Labradoodles that left this house.
People that know me probably think from my appearance or from knowing me in school, they probably think I'm more of a sports guy and let's say more of a jock. But the truth is I'm way more of a nerd at heart. So computers are my thing. My village of Sag Harbor honored me with a bench when I became the U.S. Ambassador for International Religious Freedom in the Obama administration. They also don't know that I'm a synchronized senior swimmer.
What the pandemic brought out for me and that people started to realize was my heart. And I think it was great for me as a person to be able to show that vulnerability that as a business person that you don't get to show as often. So they really got to see all of me, the real me.
Hi everyone, it's Nassau County Executive Laura Curran, and I want to congratulate all the winners from all the different sectors in the Long Island Business News Winners Circle. This has been, we've said it a million times, it's been a crazy time, but our business community has really stepped up. You've done that pandemic pivot, you've kept your workers safe, you've kept your customers safe, and you've persevered through very, very difficult times. You know, I never loved the term essential worker. I think all workers are essential. I think all businesses are essential, and you have proven that. In Nassau County, we want to support you. We want to support business as much as possible. You know, we've helped out where we could with PPE, with helping with loans, with doing grants for restaurants, supporting our main streets through our Open Streets pilot program. Whatever we can do, we're there to support you because we truly are in this together. Congratulations, and keep doing what you do best.
Congratulations, Ron Gold, Teddy Haggerty, Susan Johnson Cook, Kathleen Kennedy, Janet Koch, and Rob Menino. And special thanks to Nassau County Executive Laura Curran for taking the time to congratulate this year's Executive Circle class. Now, why don't we meet the rest of today's honorees?
Donato Danny Nicolo is the founder and chief executive officer at Meadowbrook Financial Mortgage Bankers Corporation. Nicolo spent 2 years at Pratt Institute studying architectural engineering, but ultimately landed at his family-owned catering business A&S Italian Marketplace. He found success at A&S and for nearly a decade spent his career broadening the specialty store's reach, opening stores across the New York tri-state area. While it was a prosperous profession, Nicolo realized that being married to the business was taking its toll on his home life. Thus, Nicolo made the brave decision to pursue a new career path. Nicolo invested all of his savings into real estate, eventually opening a one-man brokerage firm out of his basement. The business's early success was built on Nicolo's personal involvement with customers and ability to provide service and guidance on a level they couldn't get from larger institutions. It wasn't long before Nicolo skyrocketed his empire as president and CEO of Meadowbrook Financial Mortgage Bankers, a full-service mortgage banker offering an array of products, from purchase to refinance to home renovation lending and more. His corporation has since expanded into multiple locations along the East Coast, and the company is now licensed in 17 states. Because of his continued pursuit of excellence, Nicolo now is able to enjoy the wonderful opportunity to travel and spend some much-deserved time with his family, something he's always wanted to do. Congratulations, Danny Nicolo.
For over 30 years, Kevin O'Connor has served as one of Long Island's most recognized banking and financial experts. After over 13 years as president and CEO of BNB Bank, in 2021, O'Connor was named CEO of Dime Community Bank, and today oversees its 64 branches, 800 employees, and $13 billion in assets. O'Connor's leadership is founded upon organic growth, strategic acquisition, and community-based customer service and culture. An active community member, the Long Island native sits on the boards of Pursuit, the New York State Bankers Association, the Hop Hog Industrial Association, and the Long Island Association.
I think the ability to get involved with entrepreneurs and business people. Bankers have a great opportunity to provide capital and a source of strength to business owners and people who have great ideas and want to create businesses. Communication is incredibly important. We recognize as our employees are working from home, our customers were working remotely, the ability to be in contact with each other, to adopt new technologies like Zoom, the ability to be around. We did conference calls at 4 o'clock in the morning at times to try and make sure that we were accomplishing what we wanted to do. As businesses were shutting down, they would need funding to be able to stay afloat. As a bank, we could provide that. We initially created a short-term loan that we called an emergency loan. We then began to provide PPP funding, and to date, we've done almost $2 billion of it to 4,000 Long Island businesses.
Congratulations, Kevin O'Connor.
Teresa A. Rignanti serves as the President and Chief Executive Officer of United Way of Long Island, where she has been a catalyst for positive change since 2009. Seeing the consequences of the pandemic, Rignanti focused on addressing the needs of Long Islanders dealing with unparalleled hardship by forming a united solution. The effort was focused on leveraging existing partnerships and forging new alliances with fellow nonprofits and funders alike, all in an effort to broaden its reach to affected Long Islanders. The efforts were able to hone in on helping vulnerable seniors, bilingual speakers, students, young children, and new families.
When I first started in the not-for-profit sector, it's about 30 years ago, and what attracted me was really my father and his career with St. Francis Hospital. And at a very early age, 10 years old, I basically had fundraising in my DNA. And I really, from a place of just really wanting to reach out and to do what I can to leave the world a better place, was something that was within me for a lifetime.
Congratulations, Teresa Rignanti.
Stephen G. Santino is the Senior Vice President, Senior Growth Manager at People's United Bank, where he is responsible for leading over 100 branches and a team of over 500 employees that serve Nassau and Suffolk counties, as well as many other New York regions. His decades-long career at People's United Bank began in 1988, and he is proud to have risen through the ranks and been at the forefront of strategic acquisitions in the region. The well-respected banking executive is also an active community member, serving on the board of directors of numerous benevolent and municipal boards, including the United Way Long Island, Mentor New York, and the New York Bankers Association.
I started in banking while I was finishing my undergraduate degree, and I've stayed with People's United Bank because of the culture of our organization, the communities that we're involved, the colleagues that I work with, and the customers I work with each and every day.
Congratulations, Stephen Santino.
Karen Schwartz is the Chief Financial Officer at Options for Community Living, a nonprofit committed to assisting individuals and families in need to develop their full potential for independent living. During the pandemic, Schwartz provided leadership as the agency swiftly developed and implemented policies surrounding safety protocols, remote work for staff, and telehealth services for clients to be able to safely continue the agency's mission. Schwartz's decision to seek available financial resources in the form of grants and tax credits was critical to ensure the sustainability of the organization over the past year.
I have always felt my best when I was working for an organization that was mission driven, especially with a mission that helped people. The work that we do here at Options, it really does make a difference in people's lives, and that is what motivates me every day.
Congratulations, Karen Schwartz.
As Chief Executive Officer and Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity of Suffolk, Lee Silberman brings decades of experience in building private sector businesses. COVID-19 battered the construction industry just 1 year into Silberman's tenure at the nonprofit. Yet he was able to nimbly navigate work-from-home procedures, kickstart delayed projects safely, and shift the Suffolk Restore location to an online shopping model. Their success became a model for other Habitat affiliates across New York State. Lee also infused his for-profit experience into the organization's operations, restructuring organizational charts, and forging new relationships to help the nonprofit overcome the chilling effects of stalled fundraising efforts and a $350,000 net income deficit.
I had been on the board of directors for 20 years and chairman of the board for 5. It never occurred to me that when I left the organization that I would be brought back a year later as the CEO. But I'm glad they did. I absolutely love it. Well, It was different in this fact that no one knew what was going on. There was nothing to go back to, no playbook. I had been used to running an organization of over 400 people. So in one sense, this was easy. I only had 35 employees. But when COVID hit, the first thing was the safety of our employees. So we shut down our operations. I did have Habitat International guidelines to go by, but a lot of it was just seat of the pants and trying to do what was best for the organization and the employee safety.
Congratulations, Lee Silberman.
People wouldn't know I like to cook. I do that. I have 3 sons. We have taken a tradition that started during COVID, and we have a Thursday night dinner.
Being a mother is really tremendous because I have a great 15-year-old that's probably 3 or 4 or 5 kids rolled up into one. And she's got a group of friends. I am TC, the Uber driver for them. TC is just a nickname. All the kids call me that. And I have a great time, a great life, and feel very privileged to have that life.
I'm a bit of a daredevil. I love an adrenaline rush. And on my 50th birthday, I went skydiving with my daughter, and I can't wait to have a chance to do it again.
I have an advanced degree in synthetic organic chemistry, and the experiment that worked the best for me was making my own gin in the lab. I still have a bottle that I've kept for 40 years to this day.
Congratulations to Danny Nicolo, Kevin O'Connor, Teresa Rignanti, Steven Santino, Karen Schwartz, and Lee Silberman. And congratulations again to all of today's honorees. Their leadership has truly helped our region's businesses and communities persevere. We at Long Island Business News will be there to cheer them on every step of the way. Before we go, I'd like to once again thank our incredible sponsors for helping us bring this year's Executive Circle Awards to you all today, including our major sponsor, New York Institute of Technology, our award sponsor, People's United Bank, contributing sponsor, Teachers Federal Credit Union, and our nonprofit sponsors, Community Mainstreaming, Life's Work, the Crime Victims Center, Palamine, Charles Evans Center, Gerwin Healthcare System, the Girl Scouts of Nassau County, and a very special thank you again to LGC Studios. On behalf of all of us at LIBN, thank you for joining us for today's program.
Don't forget to join LIBN for our next online program, the Real Estate, Architecture, and Engineering Awards, airing June 3rd at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon.